My name is Roger Richards. My rank, or my rate, was Quartermaster Second Class, Submarine Qualified, U.S. Navy. Got to Saigon, we got out, and by then they were parking airplanes way out on the tarmac. And then they sent a car out there for those officers to ride. I could see Tan Son Nhut Air Base, the terminal way over there, little bitty lights in the distance. And I said, how do I get there? And they said, well, I don't know, that we got transportation for these officers. I went over and threw my sea bag in the trunk of that car and said, move over, guys, I'm not walking. There's a war over here. So anyhow, okay, they let me in. And they dropped me off at the airport, and then they went on. I was the only living human in that airport, besides this little bitty lady in black pajamas and pointy hat, sweeping with a funny looking little broom. She was sweeping up in there. Well, of course, immediately I thought she was probably Viet Cong. You know, what I'd seen on the news, people wearing black pajamas killing people. Well, it wasn't. She was a very nice little cleaning lady. She couldn't speak English, and my Vietnam is 0. So I sat in there, and this was at about 4 o'clock in the morning. They didn't open the ATCO office until about 9 or 10. Finally, when they opened, I was the first one there because I was the only person in the airport, remember? Let me backtrack a little bit. I didn't have any clean clothes anymore. I didn't have any money. I couldn't do laundry. I couldn't eat except on airplanes because I didn't have any money. So I was eating a lot of plastic turkey that they served on those flights. Except on the flight from Clark, I slept all the way, so I didn't even get to eat there at all. So it was about 10 o'clock the next morning. I hadn't eaten since probably breakfast the day before. So anyhow, I sat around there, and he said, okay, he said, first thing he said was, what are you doing here? I said, I'm here to go to the Sphinx. And he says, no, you're going to the Spinnax. And I said, I tried to tell him that. Nobody will listen to me. He said, that's a submarine. They're not here. I said, you're the first guy that's realized that. I said, you got to get me out of here. He said, well, I can't get you out for 3 days. So here I was, downtown Saigon, no clean clothes, no food, no haircut, I couldn't bathe. I had shaved a few times in a few airports. Anyhow, so he put me on a bus that had wire on the windows so that they couldn't throw grenades in it. Well, you know, I'm not prepared for all this. I'm going into the Navy, not into places where they throw grenades. So anyhow, they put me on there and said, well, we're going to take you to the Annapolis Hotel. I thought, that sounds pretty good. Go spend the night, 3 nights in the Annapolis Hotel, get cleaned up, get some food. I got up to the Annapolis Hotel, and it was kind of an old bombed out looking building with same kind of wire over the windows, but no air conditioning. Had lots of dust coming in and flies, though. Lots of dust, lots of flies. I put my sea bag down, I got in there, I said, where's the chow hall? I said, well, we don't have one. You got to go to Montana. I said, oh, I'm in Annapolis. I got to go to Montana. That's all the way across the country. They didn't think that was very funny. But anyhow, so the Montana was a hotel with a chow hall about, I don't know, half a mile away, and I'd walk over there. Well, I didn't mind walking, so I started to take off with these guys, and there was 3 of the guys walking up there and said, no, you can't walk with us. And I said, why not? And I said, well, we can't go in groups of more than 3, because they won't waste a grenade on 3 people, but they will on 4. I said, well, I'm going with you anyhow, because I'm scared, and I've never been here, and I'm hungry too. So one of them broke off with me and walked with me, and they got 50 paces ahead or whatever it was, 70 paces, and then we went to Montana and ate. Well, I'm kind of a slow eater. I never thought it was important to just wolf food down. Well, I'm eating along there and just enjoying the food. It wasn't plastic turkey. I was eating the food and enjoying it, and I'm taking my time. I'm halfway through my meal, and those guys got up to leave. I got to go, so I had to leave the rest of my food there. I took off, and they reluctantly again broke one off, and I don't know why they thought they had to walk all 3 of them together. So they let me go back, so I spent 3 days in the Annapolis Hotel swatting flies. So finally, I had no job. There was no job to do. So I finally figured out that I'd read all the books that I'd brought with me. John D. McDonald was the big writer back then. I'd read all of his books by then. I had a couple of magazines that I'd taken off an airplane, but it doesn't take me long to go through good housekeeping. Oh, anyhow, I finally just figured out if I lie in the bed and I get my sheet and pull it up over me, it's not too awful hot, but at least keeps the flies off of me. And then I'd watch my watch very closely so I'd know when it's time to go to Montana and get another meal. 3 days later, they put me on a flight to Taipei, Taiwan. Now, not Kaohsiung, where all the ships go. They sent me to Taipei, Taiwan. I didn't ask them why. I just said, okay, send me to the Sphinx. They sent me there, and I spent 9 days in transit there. See, nothing was magic. 8, 9, 10 days. I got there that night, and the chow hall was still open. Still hadn't gotten paid. They wouldn't pay me in Saigon. You can get paid when you get to Taipei. So I still have no money. I think it was down to about, I don't know, $15, something like that. But I saved that just to buy some cigarettes with. And maybe if I was really starving, I could go buy some food if I had to have it. So anyway, when I got to Taipei, the chow hall was still open. So I ran over there quickly, just dropped my sea bag, got to the chow hall, and I ate a big meal. It was really good. I forget what it was, but it was good, and I ate it all up. And I started to leave, and they said, well, okay, well, that'll be $3. And so I said, wait, this is the chow hall. And they said, oh, but we're a private enterprise, and you have to pay for it, and then you get a chit, and we'll pay you, the Navy will pay you back later. I said, I got no money, so I was really having a hard time with this Chinese guy, and he was having a hard time with me. And finally, a big chief petty officer came over to try to square what was going on, and he looked at me and said, I've never seen a dirtier sailor, and your hair, you don't have a haircut, and you're not shaved, and your uniform. And so I unloaded on him then. I just couldn't stand it any longer. And I unloaded on him, and he relented and said, look, I didn't know any of this. He was really a nice guy. He said, look here, and he paid for my supper. Paid for my supper, took me out, and he said, look, if you can wait till tomorrow about noon, I'll try to get you some money. I have a friend over there in the payroll and dispersing officer. And so I said, good deal, I'll do anything for money. Well, all he could get me was $75 because I had no pay records. So I don't know how they wrangled it. I didn't ask any questions. They got me the money, so I took $75. That was the most money I'd seen in a long time. And I still hoarded it. I didn't spend it unnecessarily. And so anyhow, I was there and I'd stand guard duty, and I would march around the perimeter of this transit barracks, and they gave me a clock that I'd carry around my neck. And I'd get to a different station, and I'd have to take the key off that and wiggle it into that clock and then take off and go to another place. I really couldn't see the purpose and all that, but apparently there was. I mean, the Navy said it was important, so I did it. And I did it on time. I did my job the way I was supposed to. Finally, when it was time to leave Taipei, I'd been there my magical 9 days. They said, okay, well, we're sending you to Saigon to catch the Sphinx. I said, we already got that worked out back in Saigon. I can't go there. I won't go there. I won't get on that plane. And the guy was a little taken aback by me. He said, where do you want to go? And I said, send me to Clark. I got a friend there that's got some money. So they said, anything, whatever you want. I've been gone about 5 weeks by this time, looking for my boat, the missing Sphinx.